Hello everybody, my name is Khaled Siddiqui, and in this video I'm going to talk about Logitech PTZ and PTZ Pro camera. A Logitech PTZ camera is a camera that's able to pan, tilt, and zoom. That's what PTZ stands for. It means the camera can move this way, up and down, and zoom in and zoom out. So I'm going to tell you how to use it, teach you how to use it, and tell you the pros and the cons, and I'm going to compare it with a regular high definition camcorder which I'm using right now. So let's start showing you and comparing it. Okay, so this is the camera I'm talking about. This is a Logitech PTZ, and the one that I'm going to be using, that you look at my face, it's going to be PTZ Pro. So this is this regular PTZ, not Pro. The one that this one, let me click on it. This one is a PTZ Pro. Okay, so now let's show you the different functionalities on this one. So this camera comes with a remote. The remote looks like this, and this remote allows you to move it to the right, move it to the left as you push it. If you continuously push it, the speed goes higher. If you push it once, it's slower, but if you keep it pressed, watch how the speed goes faster. There you go, it's faster. And this brings it back to the center. The home button brings it back to the center. This brings it down. This brings it up, and then you could go up further all the way. And let's now show you the image from this very camera. Okay, watch. Okay, this is the image from this camera that I was talking about. Watch it up, down, right, left, zoom in, and zoom out. So it's a nice little camera. I mean, it's high definition and everything. It's the only problem I noticed with this camera, that the software that comes from the manufacturer does not cover it does not handle the zoom, tilt, and all that. So you have to use a third-party application. For example, I'm using vMix Basic High Definition, or you could use vMix Professional. Let me show you that program. This is the program vMix, which you have displays here and here that shows which camera you could have, like input 1, input 2, input 3. And then from here you could choose, and then this program will also you have different types of functionalities, and you have I'm not going to be teaching you this program, so I'm not going to click on all the different icons and whatnot, but basically, so this is the program that will allow you to zoom, tilt, go up and down, panoramic movement, vertical or horizontal movement. It does everything if you have the professional version. The basic version will not have those controls. Those controls will be available in the program, but they will be disabled. They will not function. Okay, so now I'm going to show you the difference between this camera and regular standard camera. Now, this video that you're watching right now is shot with a standard Sony high definition camera using a Roland VR-4HD video mixer. I'm feeding it to the computer. Now, this shot right here is using the PTZ Pro, not the PTZ regular, but the Pro. Notice how my facial basically details are not as visible as it is with a Sony. See, I'm going to switch again. you could see nearly everything in my face with the regular Sony, but when you go to the PTZ, it's more like soft, blended in. So the definition and the detail is not as high as a full-blown camera, but it does the job. You know, it's okay for a beginner or somebody who's just trying to start their own video live broadcasting, YouTube, going live on YouTube, or doing video conferencing and meetings and whatnot. So it's pretty good camera for those purposes. But as far as trying to get really high quality professional image, this camera is not as good as a standard Sony camcorder, which this is. Now I do realize that my shade is yellow with the regular Sony. That's because I have to play around with the settings, color settings on the mixer, and also there's certain color settings on the camera itself. For example, this is just for your information. Watch on the camera settings. Okay, so this is one setting. This is another setting, which is, I'm not as yellow, I don't know, but my head is still yellow. My half of my hair, like here, is yellow. And then we have this setting, which is a fluorescent setting that the whole picture turns yellow. So these are the settings that we have in the regular camera, the regular Sony camera. So I have chosen fluorescent lighting right now on the Sony. And let's compare it to the PTZ. See, it's more like as if you use the blur function in Photoshop. That's how it changes the face. That's when you use the green screen. But if you don't use this green screen, watch the PTZ. This is PTZ Pro you're looking at right now. So I'm comparing PTZ Pro with regular PTZ. That's not Pro. This is Logitech PTZ regular. Watch the no, actually, this one that you're looking at is PTZ Pro 2. That's what it is. PTZ Pro 2. Now I'm going to show you PTZ Pro without the 2, not the second edition, the original edition. The resolution is actually better on the original edition, believe it or not. Watch. See, can you see how much more resolution you get? I mean, you nearly get the same resolution as we were getting from that Sony camcorder. Much better resolution. Much better resolution on this one than the Pro 2. I'm going to switch again to the Pro 2. Watch the Pro 2. See? Now, I did play with all the settings to make this as sharp as possible. Still never the same as the other one. On the PTZ Pro 2, Logitech is manufacturing their own lenses, their own glass. On the PTZ Pro, or the original one, they're using Sony's Carl Zeiss high definition lens. The sensor is the same, or if not, probably the Pro 2 has a better sensor, but the lens is different. So the older Pro I believe has a better video quality than the newer Pro 2. And as far as their performance and remote control, the same remote works for both cameras, for the Pro and Pro 2. And yeah, the same remote works for the Pro and Pro 2. And as you can see, this is my Roland VR-4HD, which I have this hooked up to Sony cameras, camcorders I'm shooting with. Actually, this is being shot with the Sony camcorder as well. And basically, that's what I'm using here. Now, let me show you the camera that's shooting this video. I'm going to show you that camera. That would be this camera right here. This is the Sony that is pointing to that. Now, of course, the image is upside down, but with software, I make the image upright. So, yeah, this is a standard Sony, you could see, standard Sony G20, I believe, HC G20 or something to that nature. Let me read it again with my glasses. Yeah, G20, Vixia HF G20. So the image you're looking at is from the G20, Vixia FX G20. Now again, let me switch to this camera, to the G20, so you could see let's see, which one is that? There it is. Okay. So this is the G20 that we were shooting with. There you go. All right. So yeah, so that's what it is, and the verdict is that these Sony cameras, regular camcorders, image quality is much better than the PTZ cameras, but the PTZs, they do the job. They're not cheap, by the way. They're more expensive. They're like $600, $700. You can get a camcorder for the same price. But of course, with a camcorder, you cannot do PTZ. You cannot have the camcorder move right, left, up, and down, or control it via software, or control it remotely, or control it with a remote control. So these are the things that you have with the PTZ camera. So if you need to have PTZ and you need to have a remote control, remotely controlling the camera, looking up, down, right, left, zooming in and out, then of course go with the Logitech. But if you want professional videography with professional broadcast, then definitely go with the Sony high definition, the G20, which I showed. I hope this was educational, and please don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.